the winner of May was, I think she's going to kill it next month as well. There were no new leads. It does not mean because it's July, August, the market's going to slow down. Markets are always strong. The only thing that slows down is you. You know, I was watching some competitors, you know. I keep watching competitors. And a lot of them, you know, were working during Eid, you know. There were no breaks. They were like, we are real estate people, you know. In sales, there are no holidays, there are no breaks. And I keep thinking to myself that, hey, am I in the wrong industry? Or am I doing something wrong, you know? Like, is that how you're supposed to be? But I personally believe that people like those, you know, who work every day, don't take a break, they will run out of energy, or you know, they'll get to a burnout at some stage, you know, because it is a very competitive industry, no doubt. You know, it takes a lot of energy. But if you want to play the long game, like let's say, you know, Kamran or myself, you know, we've been doing this for so long. You know, I think I've followed a few principles. It's today I thought, you know, today after start of Eid, start of the week, you know, some more positive motivation types. Which comes to my first point. I strongly believe that the point of life itself is living a good life, you know. Like, now to live a good life, what I think is really important is productivity. If you figure out if you are a productive person, are you a producer, are you a person of value? You know, because if I call everyone to the office, you know, I tell you to work 8 hours a day or 10 hours a day or 12 hours. I don't give you guys weekends. I tell you stay in the office, work. But if you're not productive, what's the point? So if every day you become a person of value, you yourself self-assess yourself. Like, am I being productive? And it could be anything. In my case, you know, because today one of my friends was asking me, man, how do you come up with these ideas for reels, you know? And I was like, I don't know. I keep thinking, you know, so I keep thinking, in my case, it'll be a video that produces value, or maybe I'm learning something, I'm reading something, I'm trying to understand something. So I spend, let's say, a big portion of life just trying to be productive. That's it, you know. So that's one thing we can really focus on. Second, something that's really helped me to have realized in life is having good friends. I think that's one of the biggest blessings you guys can get. It's very underestimated, but it has to be good friends. If you have it can work in opposite if you have the wrong circle. If you have really good friends, they will push you. And if they're not pushing you, they're not good friends. If you're in the wrong circle, or if you're amongst people who are not pushing you forward, because you're wasting time. Like, I feel like I wasted a very long portion of time doing two wrong things. One, being in a very mediocre circle, you know, like during Eid, big problem or a big positive that we face is that we got to do a lot of these gatherings, you know. So in some gatherings, I was sitting and they were speaking such, like, see, mindset is, see, now when I was broke as well, I had the mindset of a millionaire, you know. I may not have money at that stage, but my mindset was different. So I don't like having middle-class, broke-ass conversations. So I was stuck with people, you know, and because they were employees, they were high-end employees. And these are people who owned houses, but their mindset was poor, you know. And I would not sit in that crowd. I would just be like, I want to stay away from these people, you know. I don't want to be amongst people who are not willing to grow. So first step was being productive, you know. If you can figure out how you can be more productive, it can be one good conversation, reading some article, making a good video. I don't know. You'll have to figure it out. How is it about being productive? Second, having a very good circle. If you don't have a good circle, that's one of the biggest losses in your life. Having good friends is one of the best things you can do in life. Third, it's funny, but it's your heritage. Means your culture, your heritage. Now, a lot of people try to copy other people's culture, other people. You should be proud of who you are, There's nothing wrong in being proud, because all of our cultures have something positive, beautiful that they've taught us, Like, for example, my parents taught me to be honest, to work hard, to respect your word. Remember in earlier days, they used to say, my word is my contract, But today you don't have that, right? Today, anyone, because we are taught, because that's what, in the other companies, people are like, kill, I don't care, cheat, steal from other people's pockets. But that's not what I've been taught, and I don't want to teach someone else that. I don't care if I grow slower, but I know in the long run, I will win, because if I become a person of value, I have the right friends, I respect my culture, and I don't mind growing that way. Even if my growth is slow, I want to be a man of honor, My word has value. And everyone's culture, all of our parents have taught us really good things. In this world that's coming, this world of AI, the world of tech, the only way to survive that world is if you sort of follow around these principles, Good friends, be productive, self-introspect, your culture, your heritage. You don't have to be anyone else, See, now, there was a time where, I don't know, maybe 10, 15, 20 years ago, everyone used to think that America was the greatest place in the world, the city of dreams. You know what is beautiful about America? That it had people from all over the world come in, contribute their best ideas, and they respected everyone's culture, everyone's ideas. Everyone learned from everyone. You could learn something from the Italians, you can learn something from the French, you can learn something from Germans, from Japanese, from Asians, from Americans. You could learn and respect everyone's heritage. But now we're going into a world where nobody likes anybody. Everyone's trying to attack everyone, right? But Dubai is beginning to have that. That's the beauty of Dubai, where there are people from all over the world and they are taking the best from every part of the world. And we are so lucky to be in the right place at the right time. Why do you think, in this market as well, people are unable to believe that when I tell people that Hudera Thailand is sold out or this place is sold out, they don't accept you. They're like, you're lying. And I'm like, I don't know, because it's a beautiful, and but so as you can see, I don't know if you guys watch my Instagram. I was surprised. Nowadays all my reels are performing really well. So many shares, because people are like, there's so much knowledge to be given out there. Apart from that, so for business, I think this week the products that I think I want to focus on, I'll stick to my standard products. If it's secondary off-plan, Valley, Opal Gardens. During the Eid holidays, I met somebody who is an expert in Opal Gardens. So I told him, hey, you know what? I'll make a video with you. You guide me through the entire thing. I'll give you those, so I think it's a great product, So secondary off-plan, I'll be targeting like off-plan, Opal Gardens, Valley. I think they are great products. In the off-plan market, Hudera is fantastic, but, I don't know if you get units anymore. It's already sold out. Time has passed, The Beyond's new community, Puneet Shed, I think that's a very interesting product. I think we already have some buyers for that as well. Hudera, we did decent. We've given some couple of EOIs, so if that converts, then we'll, I think, be around 20-30 million plus, which is fantastic. That's another thing. Ellington in general, I think Ellington, we've been very successful over the last 1 week. It's a very easy product to sell. I've tried that with a couple of owners. Ellington is an easy product to sell. Damac Islands is an easy product to sell, I believe. Secondary off-plan is an easy. Lunaya 2575. You just have to give the Palm Jebel Ali pitch. So now that's the thing. See, money cannot buy happiness, right? Clear? To live a good life, you don't need a lot of money. If we just focus on this one particular product that clicks you, I'm just saying one particular, see, closing one deal is not complicated. I promise you it's not complicated in any market. And I think we are one of those people who have clearly established that. Again, I don't miss moments, I live my life. I enjoy my life, so that is why I want everyone over here to do that as well. I don't miss moments, but that doesn't mean I don't work. So I am productive, plus I don't miss out on anything and have great friends. So it's a great, very interesting combination that I want everyone over here to have, because that's the purpose. That's why I'm not going to be like a typical real estate agency telling, kill, steal, die, whatever you want, close the deal, But at the same time, it doesn't mean lack or stay behind in the race. It is a competitive world, So if every day you can work on yourselves a little bit, there are so many interesting products to sell. So, okay, let me just complete the products that I'm going to work on. So if you have any questions, you can ask me. So let's start from one end. So you've got Portside in Maritime City, of course, as usual. Beyond, fantastic. Beyond has two products now, one in Maritime City, one in Falcon City. Then, okay, Jumeirah Garden City, nothing. DIFC, there's nothing. This product, Ayana Holding, Mansoori, Amal Residences. If you have not visited their office, it's a highly recommend. Just understand Maidan Horizon as a location, and that is like the tallest tower, branded. And if you can position it as a collective. So I introduced Sharmeen to the CEO of Mansoori Holding. We had a podcast with the owner of Ayana Holding. It's going to come out soon. That's pretty awesome, There was like behind a Mansoori upgraded Ferrari, there was a Mansoori upgraded Rolls Royce. So I think that's a very interesting product. Then if you keep going towards the south, Tamac Islands again, where can you get a townhouse around 3 million, 10% discount? That's what everyone's going to look for a deal at this stage. I think it's a very, very interesting product. Further south, Lunaya, the entire beachfront. If you look at Abu Dhabi, I would look at Aura. If you understand product, I think that Imkan, because at 5 million, buying a house with a private beach access, I would say, even if you just focus on one product, I said value should definitely do, focus on value, just make videos on value. This number of secondary transactions that's happening in value is insane. And I have a brilliant pitch. So this holidays, I was going around house hunting. I'll tell you later why. But I was looking at, so I explored Arabian Ranches 3. I explored the villa. I explored Haptor Polo Resort. I explored Nadal Shiba Gardens. Now, something very funny. I did not like Elisa Venkaya. I'll tell you why. Small things. Now, this is why, if you're not doing anything, you should go explore these. When you see it, it's such a huge difference, You know why I didn't like? The frontage, so if it's the villa, the front has very less distance, Like right now, if I invite friends to my house, I can park 2 cars in my garage and 2 other people can park outside. Over there, that's it. 2 cars in the garage, there's no space for 2 cars to come. And it's nice when you enter a house, especially if you enter like an independent villa, you'd expect a nice frontage, right? You don't have that, It's just like literally the road and you're entering the house. An ultra HNI investor is not going to like that. And then Ranches 3 is such a small community. It starts and ends before you know. It's just one road. At the same time, when you enter a valley, it's like a Dubai Hills. It's huge. It's massive. And that experience is what... So I understand why Valley is working out a lot better. Same thing. I went to Nadal Shiba Gardens. The floor plan was fantastic, but there were too many cockroaches. Right in front was Nadal Shiba Mall. The location was fabulous. But again, the houses were pink, the houses were old, there's no frontage. Finally, so these are, if you guys could explain, I would say capture one product, one product that makes complete sense. I explore houses, when I get free time, I enjoy doing this because when I see that, I can give so much better information to investors as well because first-hand information. Otherwise, you sound like just another agent, So I would rather say, take one. So what I've observed in bigger real estate companies is that they have one location allocated. Now, when I used to work for Hamptons, I was allocated Dubai Marina. But then I used to feel like, why am I just allocated one place? But I became the expert of Dubai Marina. But I used to try and sell Palm. I used to try to sell Emirates Hills, Greens. I was always. But I would highly recommend that model. That's helped me grow so much. Be an expert of one location. Sell whatever you want, but one location, be an expert. You need to know the clusters. You need to know the locations. You need to know the floor plans. I was so impressed. Kami's friend works with Union Square House. He's the one who took that area, Opal Gardens. He's become an expert. And he was telling me products that I didn't know about. I was shocked. He told me about a product in Dubai South, which is again sold out. We were together on Eid and he was telling me about Opal Gardens and I was so impressed because I didn't know, and I don't mind learning. See, again, it's about productivity, right? Being in the right circle. I told him, this is so good. Hey, why don't we make a video, You go explain the whole thing to me and whatever leads I get from it, I'll share it with you. See, since most of you guys are new to the industry, take one location that makes sense, It could be Imar South. It could be Opal Gardens. It could be Nadal Shiba Gardens, the Valley. See, Maritime City and RYM, the reason why I wouldn't say, because it's off plan, right? So the whole world is going to anyway just try and sell it. Try to capture areas that maybe the whole world is not focusing on. So at least you become an expert in one area, and then parallelly sell that as well. It'll really help in lead generation. Because when you start putting listings of one location, you appear to be the expert of that location. You appear to be the expert, right? If you have like 3 listings of one location, you kind of look like the expert of that location, and because I've been dealing with multiple agents, over the last few days, and it was fantastic meeting them, because they really knew what they were talking about, and it's so nice to deal with a professional agent. So I would highly recommend it, try and capture one location that really makes sense and try to create some sort of value. I think that will be quite interesting. So, there are so many interesting products in the market, but I would say focus on one, focus on one area. Okay. It could be a secondary off-plan area and just try learning try and be an expert of one particular location and then portray yourself as an expert. It's a phenomenal lead generation strategy, I think we've got a phenomenal pipeline that is really interesting. Again, I keep studying all real estate companies. I think we are doing phenomenally well for the market. I think we're doing phenomenally well, and we're at it. So there's a lot of value within the office itself. Try taking advantage of the value within the office itself. Okay. Thank you guys. Have a good week.